I'm speaking to the world because this is not just a story. This is not just a metaphor. It's not a symbol. It's not a case file. This is evidence. This is 146 megabytes of cryptographic verified truth. This is timestamp signatures, call logs, emails, contradictions, omissions, and silence. This is the record of a father who refused to let his son be erased. This is the record of a system that tried to bury its own failures. This is the record of a child who deserves to grow up, to laugh, to run, to be held, to be safe. This is the record of a world that must decide whether it will continue to allow children to die in silence or whether it finally can say enough. I'm speaking to the world because Antonio's life mattered. His death mattered. His voice mattered. And the system that built him are not unique to New Mexico. Not unique to one agency. Not unique to one case. They're patterns. They're structures. They're incentives that reward removals instead of prevention, paperwork instead of protection, silence instead of accountability. They're systems that criminalize poverty, erase fathers, overwhelm workers, and hide behind confidentiality laws that protect the institutions instead of children. They're systems that treat families as problems to be managed instead of human beings to be supported. They're systems that collapse under their own weight and then blame the families they failed. I'm speaking to the world because this cannot continue. Because my son Antonio's death is not an isolated tragedy. It is a warning. It's a signal. It's a line in the sand. It's the moment where silence becomes complicity. It is the moment where we decide whether we will keep pretending these failures are accidents or whether we'll finally acknowledge that they're predictable, preventable, and structural. It is the movement and the moment where we decide whether we will keep letting children die in the shadows or whether we will demand transparency, accountability, and humanity. I'm speaking to the world because Antonio's legacy is not just grief. It's not just a blueprint. It's architecture. It's the foundation of a movement called Home for Broken Voices. A place where testimony becomes evidence, where silence becomes impossible, where families are not erased by bureaucracy. It is the foundation of Antonio's law, a framework that makes silence illegal when a child's life is at stake. It's the foundation of a civic engine that turns lived experience into data, into action, into protection. It is the foundation of a future where no child disappears into paperwork, where no parent is erased by procedure, where no warning is ignored because someone was too busy or too afraid to act. I'm speaking to the world because I refuse to let Antonio be forgotten. I refuse to let his voice be buried. I refuse to let his story be written by the same systems that failed him. I refuse to let his father's warnings be dismissed as noise. I refuse to let the truth be sanitized. And I refuse to let the world look away. I refuse to let silence win. I'm not gonna.